Hey guys, yeah, okay, I told you I'd be back with my second review. It's been a week, a couple hundred miles, and what do I think? I'm still loving the bike. It's only 7 days, but I'm still liking it. But I did make some changes that I had to make, and as you can see, the tail tidy is, well, put on, and that hideous tail from the factory is gone. As with the funky lights that they give you in the U.S., I put the LEDs, the same lights that you would see on European models, and did it for the front. So those two major changes I had to do. Also, what else? Well, I haven't done anything else to the bike except that. Um, uh, I've been just starting to be a little bit more aggressive, so I understand the modes. Wheelie control. Well, the wheelie control is mixed in with traction control. So in road mode, you get on it, full throttle. The wheel comes up a little bit, but not much. It's just the wheelie control is not aggressive, so you can really accelerate hard without lifting the front end too much. In sport mode, hopefully I'll be able to show you. In sport mode, it'll come up 2-3 feet in the air, but it settles down nice, so it's pretty good. As with the FZ, I was kind of a little tentative on cranking that thing hard in first gear because the thing just would climb and climb and climb. With this wheelie control, it just you feel a lot safer. I'll just say something real quick as far as the difference between the FZ and the Street Triple here is that the Street Triple is easier to drive fast. You really have to have a lot of skill to drive that FZ fast because it has so much power, and it came on abruptly at 8,000 to 12,000. This is much more linear, much more control. It's fast. I don't think it's as fast from say 80 to 130 as the FZ was, but it's still fast. So it still gets my juices flowing, adrenaline pumping, the whole bit. So yeah, so I know I got to apologize one thing, guys. I did mess up on my last video. I talked about the exhaust and what I was going to do to it, and I didn't explain. I think I just cut you guys off. I don't remember when I watched the video over. I didn't mention it, so I said I'm going to do something. So this is what I'm going to do. The system is welded, and I'm going to show you where it's welded, but what I'm going to do is, let me just show you where it's welded first. Look around. Okay. Okay guys, I'm on the floor here in the street, but it's a quiet road, and you can see where my finger is, it's welded. So that's the issue. You cannot put a slip on. I was thinking of maybe cutting that, but the diameter is too big for any type of slip-on. So they obviously changed that. I thought they kept that stock, so I can't cut that off and then slide something on. So that's not going to happen. But I do have a walk-around. I do have a work-around, and that is the header. Now this is the factory tube header, and you could go with aftermarket headers, but between aftermarket headers and slip-ons, you're going to be 1,500 plus, maybe even more. Well, I went on eBay and I found a 2021 Takeoff, no miles on the header, and it can handle a slip-on because all the up to 22s and even 23s in the US can handle a slip-on, but not the 24s. So I found for a couple $100, brand new, I can put that on. I mean, I know it works because there's a guy on Facebook who did the exact same thing, and then I ordered a Yoshimura slip-on, and I do like the Zards, but 2 months to get the Zards. The Yoshimura I can get in a couple days. In fact, I just ordered it, and I ordered it header, so I should have exhaust on it. Next time I do a video, I should have exhaust on it, and yeah, and it's going to be and for roughly about $850, which is almost as expensive. It's almost as cheap as some of the more expensive slip-ons. Some of the high-dollar slip-ons you can spend easily $750 on, or maybe more. So that's not bad. The work doesn't bother me. It looks pretty easy to get the header off. You take the fiberglass, the spoiler on the bottom there off, and it comes off pretty easy. So it looks like it'll just drop right down. So that's going to be my next upgrade. Other upgrades, who knows? Because the bike has got a lot of features that I like. There's a lot of black stuff on it because I like black, accents instead of silver, and so I think it's pretty much where I want it, but you know me, I'm always looking to add something to it. I find myself enjoying working on the bikes just as much as riding them. So, all right, so I'm on the side of the road here, and it's a very quiet road. It's where my buddy lives, and I figured this is a good place to just do a walk around next to this abandoned house right here, which I would love to buy, but the guy doesn't want to sell it. It'd be kind of cool just to redo the whole house, but that's another story, another time. Anyway, so let's go for a ride, and I'm going to give you some more thoughts of the bike. And there are some issues, so or it's not some issues, it's one issue with the bike I've already gotten. So not a deal breaker, not a big deal. I'm sure it can easily be fixed, but we'll talk that more. We'll talk about that more when we get on the bike. All right, guys. All right, guys. Yeah, we're back on the bike, and we'll talk more about it. So I'm still loving it after a week, and maybe since I mentioned the issue when I walk around, I'll talk about the issue real quick, and that is it doesn't have a tire monitoring sensors in the wheels, and yet on the dash, if I drive, I don't know if it's going to happen here or what, but I'll ride about, did I say drive? You know I meant ride. So if I ride about, I don't know, 5 miles or so, I get a warning that the TPM is not working properly. So there's a glitch, and I went online and I found out that some bikes are having this glitch. So obviously, I don't know why Triumph has, maybe, I don't know, the software has to be reflashed to fix it. Not a big deal. I just make a couple of clicks on the joystick here and it goes away. So, I mean, well, the little light stays on for a while, but it's not a big deal. When I bring it back in, and I plan on doing my own service on the bike, but I may bring it back in for 6,000 miles so they can update the 600 miles rather, so they can update the ECU. But am I still loving the bike after a week and 200 miles? Absolutely. It's extremely sporty as far as handling. I mean, these little right here, this is nothing, just nothing bumpy. It doesn't matter if it's bumpy. It just leans in so nice. And I feel like I can ride it a lot better than I could ride the FC in the turns. I guess maybe because I don't know, because I know there's nannies to help me if I do anything stupid, you know. It does that. That triple is just so nice. You know, that's another thing I love about being down in North Carolina. Everybody's so friendly. Every time I go by somebody doing on a tractor or whatever, or even people go down the road in their cars, they just wave to you. It's really cool. I like that. So yeah, so the handling is just absolutely superb, and it's great for my skill level because, you know, I'm not going to be dragging no knees. I'm not no expert, and the FC is a hooligan bike that you really got to know what you're doing. Even in straight line acceleration, it just does some crazy stuff. You know, if I can get a straightaway, I'm going to show you what this bike can do. I got it in road mode, and you know, maybe I'll put it in road mode for now, and then I'll do a sport mode, and you'll see the wheel come up in sport mode, but in a controllable fashion, you know. So I don't have to worry. I don't really have to think about me controlling the wheelie as much as the bike will. And I know a lot of guys don't like that. You can turn traction control off because traction control is part of wheelie control. It's not separate. So this speedometer is pretty accurate, so hopefully you guys can pick it up. So it's fast, no doubt about it. It's fast. It's definitely more linear. Like if I was on the FZ, when it gets to 8,000, it's like, whoa! I can keep sliding back on the seat. This seat has more of a texture, and I guess it has a little bit of a lip in the back, a little bit more, and I don't find myself sliding on the back. So the bike is much more controllable at high speed. I'm not sure what mile an hour I was going because I'm kind of trying to concentrate on the road. So, and then you see there's hardly any wheel lift. The front end gets a little light, but nothing crazy. So yeah, so that's my quick blast from whatever I started. I guess I was doing 30 miles an hour to 100 or so, and the speedometer is pretty accurate on this compared to my GPS. If we find another road, I'll put it in whatchamacallit and see if I can I'll get on it in sport mode, and then you'll see the wheel come up. Alright guys, so you've seen it come up. It's very controllable. I still get a little nervous, but I got to do it a couple times in a row. So it's power wheelies. It's not something that comes up abrupt. It just, you know, you nail it and it comes up, and it's fun. So yeah, so that was sport mode. Yeah. Whew, baby, yeah. I like it. And now, like I said, I go back, I got to compare it to the FZ. The FC is scaring me, but I mean, this is quick, but it's more especially if you guys are not haven't been on leader bikes. It's going to be fast if you jump from a smaller bike to this bike, but it's controllable. It's more. It just feels easier to manage. That's a good way to put it. Just easier to manage. You know, I'm definitely going to be able to get used to this bike and how fast it is, and be able to do more as far as performance. Riding, you know, even though I'm not that old dude, I know most of the guys my age are more into the relaxed. I do like the relaxed, you know, 60-70% of my riding is relaxed, but I have to have that, knowing I can be sporty. I have to have that, you know. I just love it, you know, just to know it's there. I don't always use it, but I gotta know it's there. And so as long as I'm on the right gear, but the same thing with the FZ, you have to be in the right gear to appreciate the performance. Yeah, man on his bicycle. I'm going to come back and, you know, and on the way back I'm just going to, you know, say my goodbyes, and this way I can think of more things to say about the bike, because sometimes when I get on the bike I'm just more into the bike and I forget what I need to say. But yeah, so let's just go up on the dirt here. It's very slippery here, so I got to be careful. We're just going to hang out and watch these guys fish. I thought it'd be really, really crowded here today, but it's not, because it's a beautiful Sunday. And yeah. So yeah, the bike is just, guys, the bike, just checking to see if there's not too much dirt. The bike has been really, really good. I'm very, very happy to it. I love the way it looks. The FZ looked cool, but it was old school. This is just new school, and I like new stuff. And as you guys can see with the lake, and there's like plenty of people here, but not as much as I thought. But yeah, the bike is just so... It's me, guys. I really like this bike. I know it's a young man's bike, but it makes me feel good. And I guess that's all that matters. So, yeah, so we're going to just sit at the lake a little bit, look at some YouTube stuff, and on my way home, I'll give you my final thoughts. Yeah, I know I'm going to think of more stuff, guys, and so I'll be back. All right, guys. Yes, we're leaving the lake. People are enjoying themselves. We're fishing. The boats are out. Life is good. So just trying to get my thoughts together on the ride home, just to guys to, you know, I want to, anything else? Anyway, guys, just first off, if you guys have any questions, because if I might have left something out that you might be concerned, I answer every single one of the comments. So if you have any concerns about, you know, if you guys are on the fence about getting a bike, or you're looking to get this bike, just let me know. All right, let's go, and then we can talk more about the bike. And like I said, if you have questions, please make a comment, and I'll be more than happy to. Because, you know, my reviews are more like the average review. It's not like I've sit here and study the bike really good, and you know, it's just me picking up my new bike and my average review. And most of my stuff is more about, yes, it's performance is important, but it's more ergonomics. To me, that's the most. All right, let me take that back. Style is huge. That's why we look at bikes. It's just like why we look at women, right? It's if they look good, we're going to talk to them. If the bike looks good, I'm going to go up and look at the bike. So, but the second most important thing is ergonomics. I have to sit on the bike, and I got to know that I'm going to be comfortable. And I knew that right away when I sat on it. And then obviously you take it for the test ride, and you see if it's the bike that you want. And so that's kind of my review. That's how I review bikes. I review bikes like the average Joe would think about a bike. You know, yeah, performance is great. I know this bike is like been reviewed to death on the track. I'm not interested in this bike on the track because I'm not going to track it. Now I know this bike is more track oriented than the R model. I love this quick shifter. It just needs more noise. So yeah, I know that it's, and I'm going to take it easy, guys, going home. No shenanigans, because I just want to collect my thoughts and enjoy the ride. So yeah, and I know that they've just been to death. Oh, it's a great track bike. It does this, it does that. If you put clip-ons, you gotta. I don't give a shit about the track, about this bike. Yes, it breeds a better bike for the street, but I don't care about that. I want to know what this bike is going to do on the road. And that's why all the reviews that I've really watched through, because I always see it's a track review, I just watch a little bit about the technical stuff, learn about the bike, and then I move on. I don't really give a shit about anything else. That's why I rather see that low subscriber guy that has the bike and gives me more of a average guy type of review or impression, whatever. That's what I'm more concerned with, that, and that's what you're going to get from me. You know. Oh, this is one of my favorite turns. See how low I can go. Yeah, this thing is just, That's the fastest I've ever gone through that turn with this, and it's you don't feel it's not intimidating at all because you know it's going to stick, and that's basically just a dog leg. I like the bike. The bike is ergonomically perfect for me. It's a perfect naked bike. It's light. You know, guys, I talked a while back that I wanted a light bike, but it's still light, but it's still stable. You know, I'm more worried about a light bike not being stable on the highway, and it absolutely is. At 75 miles an hour, you got a lot of wind blast, but it's stable. It's absolutely just a fun bike to ride. And at this weather now, I'm only doing 50 so miles an hour, but it's so nice and warm out. The wind blast is nothing, means nothing. Even the wind picked up a little bit, but it means nothing. It's just so comfortable. If you're into naked bikes, a lot of guys don't like them. They like to have a screen. I don't like the screen unless it takes air off my helmet, and then they get too big. Like a GS is perfect. It's not too big, not too small. It's perfect. And we're I guess the seating position. But this bike is the perfect naked bike for me. Do I wish it had more power, like the FZ? Yeah, I probably do. But it's not. It's minuscule. It's so small. I could not harness or use the power to its full, to the max on the FZ because I just did not have the skill level. I was a little bit intimidated by the power because it was just so brutal. But I like that about the bike because I like that adrenaline rush. This bike, it can kill you. It's fast, but it's not as brutal. It's much more linear. It's a much better, like I've said it on the way here to the lake, that it's a much easier bike to ride fast. So if you guys are coming from like a low horsepower bike and you want something to move up, it's a great bike to move up because it has that linear power. It's fast. It'll get you in trouble. It'll wheelie if you take the traction control off, but it's not as brutal as the FZ. Now, I don't know if a stock, I think I said this before, is a stock FZ is just as brutal, but that tune made it just absolutely crazy. So in my future, what's my future? I do like the speed triple, double R with the fairing. If I can get comfortable on that and would put risers on that, that might be a bike after I get tired of this, because you know, after a year or two, I'm going to be looking for another bike. That might be, you know, whatchamacallit, to get that thrill of speed again. Yeah, it just feels so good. And as far as I'm concerned, it's broken in. 200 miles, it's done. It feels good. It feels fast. And I just see myself riding this a lot this summer and not being bored, which is a good thing because I do get bored. And what's that famous saying that they use for? Well, I don't want to get it with what it's really used for, but it works with bikes too. What's better than one bike? A new bike. Meaning that it doesn't have to be new, it just has to be different. So what's better than having a bike? Is having more bikes. That's what's good about it. So just because I just get bored. I just get bored. And then I just need change. Whoa, I didn't know that was a bird. And I just need change. And so now I have some change. Kenny is happy. Kenny's talking in the third person, which is ridiculous. But whatever. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the bike. Like I said, it's not like that typical review. I wish I could give you guys more information about the bike. I hope I gave you guys enough information about the bike. You can't go wrong with this type of bike. Even if you just go for the R model, you're just going to have a good time with it. It's a lot less expensive. You're going to save yourself over this bike. You're going to save yourself $2,800, and you're going to have just as much fun. But the build quality is superb. It has. I just love everything about the build quality because I had two Triumphs before this. I had a Speedmaster and I had a 1200 Scrambler. Both were just killer bikes as far as quality, everything. The fasteners are so cool. All the fasteners just top quality. You know, that top quality look to them. You know, premium bike. This is definitely a premium bike, and so really happy with that. Yeah, I guess that's it. I know I forgot something, and I'm probably going to remember when I'm doing the editing, but. Very happy with the bike. Definitely was a good move. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for tagging along. We'll be back.